Gentlemen, this is the first vlog that I ever do, and in this video, here we are in the rooftop of my Airbnb apartment in Cyprus. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what happened with my birth story, how I lost my birth, right? Because in my channel, if you've been following for some time, you know that I'm always talking about how I've gone on 384 dates in the last 2 years with 193 different girls, of course, with proof for all of this, videos, thousands of recordings, blah, 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 okay? And I'm always talking about the huge transformation that I had, going from complete hopeless to this amount of dates in just 2 years. And there is a missing part of the equation, which is how did I lose my virginity, right? So that's what I'm going to be talking about today in this video. It's not a conventional story, by the way. I'm having dates with girls, and sometimes the topic of, sex and these things comes up. First kiss, first time, all of these things. And I always tell them the full story. Well, a little bit, I would say, summarized version of it that we are going to be talking today. And they always get surprised because it's not a conventional story. So let me put this camera in a comfortable position. Hopefully the sun doesn't give up on us and we can finish this video. So it all starts September 2023, okay? That's when I download, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, all of these apps. I was, from the background, just doing business for the last 2-3 years before that, right? And I wasn't going out with friends, nothing. I was just purely focusing on business. And, at some point I thought, okay, let me just not off anymore, because back then I was not watching porn, but I was still off. And at some point I just stopped off, and I was so horny, gentlemen. I was horny as fuck. So it was probably like 1 month, almost 2 months without, emptying my balls. And finally, I managed to get a date with this girl, okay? I'm not going to reveal names. Let's say Patricia, okay? Spanish name. It's not like that, but it's similar. And I download Bumble, I download Hinge, Tinder, all of these apps, and I end up matching with this girl, with Patricia, okay? We end up going on a date. By the way, gentlemen, this girl, well, we will talk about her later. So we go on a date. I'm from Madrid, right? And I meet her close to the center, and we go for a walk in a big park, which a big, river and a big lake. Okay, it was like 7-8 p.m. and it was in the middle of the summer. It's Madrid, everything is very, very warm in Madrid in the summer. So, she's wearing, I remember, like a skirt, something like that. I was just shorts and a short t-shirt. And as soon as I see this girl in person, because remember, I met her through Bumble. As soon as I see her in person, it's like, oh, man, this is not good. But, I was horny as fuck, right? So anyways, it was probably my first ever date in my life. And we went for a walk in the park. And I was, walking with her, talking about my business. She thought I was very interesting because I was just talking about the things that I wanted to do with my business and scale things. And I was saying those things in a pretty boring way, to be honest. But the difference in ambition was very high. And this girl seemed to be attracted to that, right? So anyways, we start talking more about those things. And at some point, it's like 9:30 p.m. And we are close to the sunset, right? The sun is almost going down. And we are in a bench, okay? Keep in mind, gentlemen, this is a forest. It's a pretty popular forest in Madrid. It's summer, but it's getting late. So there was a lot of people, a lot of families, but it's very big, huge forest, okay? And we are at the top of a small mountain, overseeing like the sunset, the city. And there are, one couple there, probably, 20, 30 meters or like 60 feet that way. Other couple another 60 feet that way, in each couple in their different separate benches, okay? So I'm here with this girl, and I was not escalating. I didn't know how to talk to girls. I was just talking about my life and things, right? At some point, this girl, she just took the initiative, okay? I'm not proud of this, but whatever. It's the first time. So she goes for the kiss, and I was, why not? So we start kissing. Keep in mind, gentlemen, I was very, very horny. This girl wasn't the best. But yeah, we're in the forest, right? So we continue, kissing a little bit. At some point, she gets on top of me, like just riding. Keep in mind, it was like 9:30, almost 10, and the sun was settling down, if that's the expression, right? The other couples were there. You can still see them, but not so much, right? So she starts getting on me. I get hard on, and at some point, she even took the initiative to say, what things are getting like very, very out of hand. Blah blah blah. What should we do? Blah blah. So basically, I looked around. I said, let's go to a bush. Okay, that's what I said. So we go from this bench that we were sitting at. She was on top of me. I was rock hard, and we end up kind of going. I grab her hand. We go and trying to find a bush. Okay, just to get out of get away of these other couples and try to find like a private space. I had no idea what I was doing. I think I had a condom on somewhere, but I was not so sure about it. I was just going, whatever, right? So we end up choosing a particular bush, okay? And this is extremely unlikely what's going to happen now that I'm going to tell you. So this girl, again, she was taking the initiative. So she just started, she went on her knees and started, licking everything, right? And as soon as she's doing that, I look at another bush around me. Gentlemen, keep in mind, huge forest, okay? It's not a small city forest, it's huge forest. A lot of trees, a lot of bushes, a lot of space, not many people. Like no one, we could not see anyone. It's dark, okay? And as soon as she's starting to do that, I look away and I see another couple like there, just close, I would say 10 meters away from us, like very, very close. And I pretty much start laughing, like, this girl is here, I'm looking at them. Now, this couple, they noticed me. The girl was just like here because she was on her knees, so they could not see the girl, but they could see me because I was standing up, right? So they look at me, and they were trying to, right? And they kind of freak out, and they just pull all the clothes up, and they just run away. And it was interesting. I didn't say anything to this girl, I didn't want to ruin the moment. It's the first time that I was getting hit, right? So yeah, I'm looking at these people. They run away. I stay with this girl here, and I'm trying to, keep in mind, very hot in the summer. So I'm thinking, okay, what should I do next? So basically, okay, let's try to have the condom on, right? So the girl just starts getting the clothes off. I take my clothes off. There was no grass. It was just like in Madrid in the summer. It gets like very, very hot, very warm, and it's not wet, right? So it's not comfy. If you go in the grass, it's not comfy. It's just like these pine trees. The pine trees, they have these flowers, right? It's not a flower, it's like a spikes, right? And the floor is full of those spikes. So basically, I put a towel there not a towel, my shirt on the floor, so she can, lay on her back, missionary position, without spiking her back. So basically, I'm trying to put the condom on because I have never put a condom on. I'm trying to put it on and try to put my, my Johnson, my Norferino inside. And while I'm trying to do that, I get stung. Is that the word? Stung? Yeah. In my ass by a bee. A bee stings in my ass here while I'm trying to just figure out. Okay. Keep in mind, gentlemen, this girl was big. Okay, big. I mean, not big. Let's actually put numbers to it. So, in kilos, height, she was probably, I don't know, like 155. She was short, she was small. 150, 155, which would be 5'5", something like that. 5'3", 2, I don't know. And she was kilos probably not one. She was probably like 85 or 90. Okay, big. Well, probably not that much. She wasn't like obese, extremely obese, but anyways, 75, 80 kilos. That's probably like 170 pounds, something like that. So it's harder to find holes in that, big space, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyways, I've never done anything, right? So I'm trying to figure out things, and at that point, boom, this stung me in the ass. One of them. And I don't react. I didn't know any game, any seduction back then, but I knew if I were to react to that, then I would look like a right? So basically, I took it, and I didn't say anything to the girl, right? But I was, by the way, I didn't know it was a bee until later, right? I was just, this is burning, right? So I didn't say anything. Obviously, my Northerino, my Johnson, goes down. I already managed to put the tip in, so that's why I count this as my first time, even though it did not much more went in. From that point on, boom, everything down, and yeah, after some time, I managed to get it up again and see off, and yeah. And then this girl was saying, "Oh yeah, do it to me as well." Again, I had no seduction game here, so basically I just start touching her as well, and we do it at the same time. And my neck is hurting because I'm looking like that. Anyways, that was my first time experience. How did I feel after this? I think I felt good for some time, like for a few minutes, like this is nice. But that was it. So yeah, that was my experience. Pretty uncommon, I would say, in the forest, right? But I think this experience set the standard for all of the other experience that I had with other girls. I think a car is honking. Is that the word? Honking. Anyways, I'm not sure what's happening there, but all of the experience that I had after that, has been way better, right? My second time was insanely good, and from there, pretty good in general, right? So yeah, that was a beautiful first time experience. Here we are seeing the sunset now. Gentlemen, I'm going to leave in the description my full system for free completely, if you just want to check it out. If you don't, it's okay. About how I was able to get this amount of dates in just 2 years after this fat I was going to say this bad experience, but yeah, this fat bad experience. And it's beautiful just going through this, and then because there is no light without dark, right? Every good thing has its bad counterpart. So it's good to have these experiences. So then later you can enjoy the really good ones, right? The pure ones, the 18-year-old ones, the feminine ones, the insanely skinny, beautiful bodies, right? So yeah, hopefully you found this video entertaining, and yeah, take care, gentlemen.